Well, so the word should came up, so I think I might talk about that. I guess I noticed going through the kind of dissolution phase after the shift that can seemingly happen, and then we can make stories up and say there's an apparent residual energy, blockages, healing that's required. And on one level it's true, but it is always just this, what's happening. Another way to explain it is that there can be suffering, there can be discomfort. I listened to a video that Suzanne Cheng, I think, posted, and she said she went through this with a friend and didn't know how, because it can be hellish, didn't know how somebody could do this on their own. And I guess I did it alone. And if I try to look back now, it's been an 8 to 10 year unraveling. So I say that more to give you support and to meet you exactly where you are, that if you're going through intense feelings, suffering, discomfort, feeling lost, disconnected, whatever that might be, I've been through it all, and you're going to be okay. It's part of the process of relinquishing any idea of your own life and handing it all to God. And again, that can sound, and it is a story, but there's a sort of a very mysterious, absolute connection that's made with God that just happens. It's not your doing. Reality is here now, and it's only here now. Nothing else exists, and it's so perfectly ordinary and simultaneously totally unknown that every single movement or measurement keeps on hitting against the absolute plainness, the bluntness of reality, as if we're stabbing it and stabbing it and stabbing it until that tool just eventually just breaks away, because it's just fighting against itself. It can get nowhere. So it seems with us to express itself through kind of an agitation and a frustration, and that's perfectly natural, and if that's happening, then that is what is happening. So that can be directly seen, that it is what's happening. So then all that can be done is seeing the immediacy of this and being with it. And in a way, in all of these tumultuous times that one might experience in the dissolution of the illusory self, the me, the delta between what is, that is so plainly in front of you, that is everything, it is you, and it doesn't need any words to qualify it. It's just boom, there, life. And then any overlay onto that is going to be a delta that equals suffering. So this is where the should comes in. It shouldn't be like this, it should be like this. So if you're experiencing this, and then you can just notice that I should have more money, I should be in a better house, I should have a partner, no, this is life. And then I should accept this. Not even that. So we will oscillate, and this is just happening. But in a way, there's a clear seeing of it, so people can say, oh, there's the witness of it, but that can raise these confusions of duality as if there's something to witness, something else. But it's just, there's a clear seeing. And this clarity, which is what the dissolution of the illusory self is, simultaneously the raising of clarity. Because the pure consciousness is just seeing everything as it is. It's just seeing life, boom, plain and ordinary. And there are so many mechanisms that have been at play for so long that we're unconscious. And they just have to come to the surface, and mechanisms that we're not even aware of. So mechanisms that were revealed here were the ways the body-mind was seeking to feel good and to feel safe. And those combined, the feeling of I feel good and I feel safe, is, you could say, what love is, the love of God. But when we're seeking it in worldly things, running around in agitation, we're not in the stillness, or not aware of the stillness that is God, that is always embracing us, that is all that there is, and we're just swimming in the ocean of God, always loved, always safe, always able to feel at peace with everything, the highs and the lows. And this is, in the clarity, there can be the seeing. Something I've noticed is that special and not special, they disappear. And it's more seen here, like if this silence can whisper anything to try and express it in words, it's I'm so ordinary. And the beauty of seeing I'm so ordinary, this is so ordinary. Because in that seeing of ordinariness, it's the beautiful end to needing to be something else, needing to have something else, be something else, become something else. Just the I'm perfectly fine like this. But when there is, I am a spiritual person, I want to be a wealthy person, I want to be a famous person, all of these movements inevitably create suffering, because they are a pendulum. Every single concepts that we create has two sides to it. If I am above somebody else, then I can be below somebody else. If I am rich, I can be poor. If I think I'm beautiful, then I can end up being ugly. So this is pointing at things like, you'll hear all sorts of self-help and new spiritual bullshit about love yourself. Well, if I can love myself, I can hate myself. you end up on a pendulum. You try to put energy in about, oh, I'm going to love myself, and then that energy, because it's actually not about the positive or the negative of I love myself or I don't love myself. It's the focusing attention on myself. And then because there is no position, it just swings to this and that and this and that, until eventually you realize that you don't need to have an opinion about this, about that, about anything. So everything just calms down. Words still come out, and that because it's free, any word can come out. And another person might think this particular word is a judgment, or it's unkind, or it's, but there's just no more management going on. And when everything is seen as, and the reason, so we also in spiritual circles hear about becoming humble. I see this to spin it around in the opposite direction. It's not about, there's nobody here to become humble. So as long as there's that effort, well, then you'll be humble, and you'll see yourself as being the opposite, as greedy, humble, greedy, humble, greedy, and there's just going to be this constant sway of, in essence, judgment about how am I being. In the seeing and the clarity of everything is just here. There's humans, human. There's nothing above, nothing below. Then that's where, just by that plain seeing, without any labels, without needing to input any opinion whatsoever, it's so obvious that it's equal. It doesn't even need to be said. And then you can meet everything, every being, every animal, exactly where they are. And that has an immense, seemingly, power to it, because so many are caught up in stories of telling people how they should live, what they should do, when you're just meeting people exactly where they are. Then there's a sweetness to it. And I've been through all the phases, trying to be super kind, trying to be spiritual as possible, trying to be humble. But there's a noticing that, in a way, all of these things were happening by themselves, but I wasn't doing it. And the more I tried to take position on anything, there was always the swing back. And as I've mentioned in other videos and stuff, it's like, that's the same about seeking for happiness. Happiness is an ephemeral, momentary thing, and it will inevitably swing to its opposite. So this is just coming from a place of peace, where all and everything is allowed. And I could say that, of course, this will break the person, because the person is illusory. So as the clearing or the processing is happening, as whatever energy needs to move out of this body-mind, it's like boiling water and just letting all of this vapor escape. It really can take you to rough places, but it's simply, again, it gets seen more and more clearly that a lot of it is just because we're uncomfortable with that. So I've gone through periods of just shedding tears, being more alone than I've ever experienced before. I lost the house, the car, the money. I ended up with absolutely nothing. And as long as there's this idea of my life, so it shouldn't happen this way, again, that's the delta of suffering. And if you have these ideas of measuring money and possessions and status, every single one will bring suffering and kind of bound up into one big ball of suffering. And that, when I said it at the time, fuck no, but it is a blessing. Yeah, that's quite crazy, because it's just tears. It's just sadness, and it's got to come out, because you're so deluded into this idea that you don't have anything. We come naked and we leave naked. Anything you accumulate between the two is already a bonus. And it obviously doesn't feel like it. And in my experience, in this apparent life, I've experienced living in amazing homes with swimming pool and having beautiful cars and beautiful women and money and being successful. So there was this sense that when it was all gone, it was like, why is this happening to me? Why? And again, this shouldn't, but it is. So it can feel like there's a choice inside to either just accept it or suffer it, but there isn't actually fundamentally a choice. It's just seen for what it is. And when we talk about surrendering to God, again, it sounds like a verb, a word, or something that we have to do. And that can happen, but here it just became obvious. It's just God's everything. If this is what I need to experience, bring it on. And half the time I don't know why. I can have an idea because I'm not dumb, so I can. The idea that I saw was that to get rid of all fear and all energy and all discomfort in this body-mind, I obviously had to face all of the opposites of what I was used to. Because if you're always trying to push life to get money and comfort so that you feel safe, secure, good and loved, then God will show you that you are always safe with God and loved no matter what, even if you have nothing, if you're, I ended up with the clothes that would fit into 2 bags. I used to have a big wardrobe with loads and loads of clothes, and I ended up with couple of pairs of pants, a few t-shirts and a few jumpers, and there was just not even the so-called choice on what I'm going to wear each day. It was basically, that's clean, I'll wear that. And there's a remarkable thing that can happen when that is happening, is that all of these attachments that we have to the way we need to appear, the way we need to be perceived, what is it saying about me, the status, am I going to be loved and respected, because it all comes from a fear of needing to be a particular way so that I can be loved and comfortable and safe. So not only do you not need to be any other way than you are, but life is just this immediacy, that's it. And life is just happening for no one. So I feel for you if you're going through anything. Send you love. And I'll finish with just beautiful words that did help me, is that if God has sent everybody away, it's so that he can have you all to himself. So, peace and love.